see the screens?
Yep.
Do you guys see the screens?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we see the screen.
Okay. That's all. That's one page. Yun lang naman. So
Madali lang pala.
Okay, there are a few pages. So let's go through it. From my experience, these are the most common questions for freelancers. The very first thing, different categories. There are categories when you decide to register with the BIR or you update your registration. And how do you register or update your registration? How much does it cost? What are the taxes you need to pay every month or every quarter or every year? And then also how do you actually file and pay your taxes? Before we start, this is very important. Google, most of your questions, you can Google it and you can get the answers. Sometimes those are exactly the answers you'll ever need. Pero qualifications ko lang, rules do change. BIR does change their rules from time to time. Every office you go, they have different procedures. It's just like a bank form. Best way to explain it. When you go to a bank, they ask you to fill up a form. Sometimes they just ask you to sign. Sasabihin nila, kami nang bahala. Or they ask you to fill up certain lines, pero actually the entire form is 5 pages. Usually when you go to a bank, that's what happens. Ganun din sa BIR. Okay, so it's different every region, every office. So just be mindful of that. Even if you go to your city hall, ganun din, iba-iba rin. Okay, so for those who are expecting to be able to go to the BIR office and then in one day or in a few hours you're done, I would say that's unlikely to happen. You be prepared to go back at least for another time, or at least 3 times. No, in my case, I have to go 3 times to sort out my registration. No? Okay. For freelancers, especially, these are the 2 most common categories. We have what they call a professional, or what they call a single or sole proprietorship. I suppose for most freelancers, especially those working online, I would suggest that you would consider yourself to be professional as far as the BIR is concerned. No, and then I have some examples here, and I guess you would pretty much know what category you belong to. No, what is the difference between a professional and a sole proprietorship? When it comes to registration, mas madali yung professional. No, you can go straight to the BIR, and you would not need to bring any mayor's permit, and you do not need to bring any barangay documents. So you go straight to the BIR, and this also means that you don't have to pay every year mayor's fees. Okay, you just go straight to the BIR. They will not ask for more data. No, just need to tell them you're a professional. Okay, let me just jump into form. Okay, I'm just jumping into a form. This is what I meant. I have here a registration form for individuals. These are the 2 choices essentially for us. Are you a professional or are you a single proprietorship? For freelancers, I suppose almost every one of us should choose this. I think that's easier because you don't have to go through the city hall. Diretso na sa BIR. Okay, that also means BIR lang yung binabayaran mo. Okay, hindi every year, hindi na yung may national tax ka sa BIR and then may local tax ka pa with City Hall. Okay, so let me go back. Okay, of course there are some gray areas though. There may be some of you out there that are not sure. So am I a professional? Am I a sole proprietorship? So mostly sole proprietorship, as you can see here in these choices, there is a physical space. You know, you sort of have a retail space, or may puesto ka, no, in layman's term, no. Mostly, if you do have any of these businesses, of course, you need to go through the city hall. You need to get a permit, sanitation, safety, etc., etc. fire extinguishers, etc., etc. But if you're in this bucket, hindi na nga talaga kailangan, and that's why you go straight to the BIR. Okay, these are some gray areas. I would suggest if you're in this bucket, why not go straight to the BIR if you're someone like these two guys, and see if you can get through BIR without them asking for more data. No, if you can register without them asking for a mayor's permit, then you're done, right? If they do, then you just have to go back. Okay, I showed you the registration form. That's a 1901. You can download that in the BIR website. These two, as I said, are the most important. The others are your personal information. These are essentially, in general, I think these are the most common steps. If you want to register for the very first time, you have to go to your nearest RDO. You have to make sure where you reside, and then depende kung saan ka nakatira, there's a list in the BIR website where you should go. Okay, and then you fill up the form. As I said, this is simply like filling up a bank form. No, the form may be difficult, pero they are there to help you. Okay, sometimes hindi na nila ipilit na i-fill up lahat. Okay, they'll tell you just fill up the most important sections of it. Every RDO, every office is different. Okay, this is very important. The next 2 points. What do I mean by be clear on what you're not and know your taxes? No. A simple example: if you're a freelancer, you don't have employees, then you should not allow the BIR to tell you you have to pay compensation tax. No? So if you don't have employees, then you don't need to file taxes for employees' compensation. Because if you're, for those who are who had been employed before, di ba kinakaltasan kayo ng employers nyo? So yung employers nyo nagsasubmit sa BIR. So they are submitting as employers. So what I meant is, if you don't have employees, you have to tell the BIR officer na wala po akong empleyado, it's just me. So that they won't ask you to file tax returns for employers kasi wala kang employee. Okay, so this is just an example. Most people forget that, and then you ended up being asked to do a lot of things. So again, you have to be careful and know what are the things that apply to you, and which are those things that do not apply to you. Para madali lang yung gagawin mo after registration. Okay, these are the documents wise, are the identification documents, ETI registration, businesses who have used a trade name. Okay, you can see here in the 1901, when it comes to individual, yung pangalan mo pa rin yung ginagamit. Okay, so you may have a trade name. Okay, so what I meant was, if your business is, assuming your business is as a gas station, or whether you are a blogger or a design artist and you have a sort of a company name, but if you're just an individual taxpayer, wala kang company per se, the tax form will always ask for your name. Okay, so it's always your name. And your business name, that would be something different. No? So if you want to tell the BIR, this is my business name, and if you do have a separate business name at yun ang gusto mong gamitin, that's where you show your DTI registration. Okay. There's also a professional tax receipt for professionals or for other lines of service. The BIR may ask you to pay for PTR. No? Not every office asks for this. Sa munisipyo to kinukuha. I would suggest everyone to just go straight to BIR if you're just a freelancer. And if you're not a registered, like hindi ka naman licensed sa PRC, like hindi ka licensed, if you're not a licensed architect, or if you're not a licensed CPA, for example, if your profession is not a licensed profession, perhaps hindi na nila hihingin to. Kasi dagdag gastos lang to, which you will have to pay sa City Hall pa. Okay? So I think that's the basic steps 1901 when you register. After you register, they will ask you to do other things like printing of official receipts and your book of accounts. Pero they will explain that to you after you go through the first hurdle, which is to register. And that's the very first thing. No? Everything else in terms of yung para mag-print ka ng resibo or para bumili ka ng libro for those things, I think they will explain to you what those are. Okay? So as far as overall, this is the very first step. Okay? When you update with the BIR, assuming you are an employee or ex-employee at ngayon freelancer ka na, or let's say you currently work for an employer, but you also now have a separate business, and you want to register the separate business. There's a separate form. It's almost like a 1901, but they call it a 1905. Okay, so again, you can download that in the BIR website. But these are the steps when you do that. Okay, so if you do have a current employer, or you used to have an employer you're now a freelancer, chances are your records with the BIR is at the offices near your employer's address. Okay, that's very important. So example lang, you used to work in Makati. You need to ask your former employer kung anong office ng BIR sila nagre-report. Okay, kasi you have to go to that office and ask that office to transfer your records, your taxpayer records, to your nearest RDO. Assuming you're now based at home, working as a freelancer. If you're now working in Quezon City, then there's 2 or 3 offices in Quezon City. Depending on your address, dapat ilipat yung records dun sa RDO na sakop ng address mo. It's just like parang barangay. So, nasa ibang barangay yung records mo before with your employer, and you're now a freelancer, so they have to transfer your records first dito na sa area mo. Okay, so you have to do that first. You have to transfer first your records, and once it's confirmed, may take a week or so, that's when you file your 1905 with your new RDO. Okay, hindi mo na sasabihin kung ano yung business mo ngayon as a freelancer, whether you're you're a online transcriptionist, whether you're a digital assistant, virtual assistant. You would then inform this new RDO after the data is transferred. Okay, so that's a very important thing. Most people don't do that. Nagkakaproblema sila. So nadodoble yung TIN number nila, which is something we need to avoid. Okay, so once you fill up the 1905, everything else is the same. They may ask you to provide the same information. They may ask you to, and then once it's approved, you need to print your receipts, etc., etc. Okay, so I think that's very important, especially for people who used to work with someone else and now starting as a freelancer. Okay, you're not a professional. No, if your business is, as I said, like a food cart, a small food cart, or a water station, or if you really have a studio, let's say a photo studio, then I think the BIR will not consider you as a professional. They would consider you as a sole proprietorship. This means you have to go to City Hall first. You have to go to your barangay para makuha mo muna yung mayor's permit, barangay clearance, DTI registration for your business name before you go to the BIR. Okay, so there's some more requirements for a sole proprietorship. Okay, but the BIR has been flexible enough. Now there is now this professional category, which we mentioned previously. There's now a professional category where you don't have to go through City Hall. Uh, Now we go to cost of registration. How much would it cost us to register? Usually, it's around 500 for registration. The printing of receipts, again, that's a range. It's different per office. Book of accounts, you have to buy a few books. Yung libro na sinasabi, that may take you 50 pesos. You can buy it national. If you register your trade name, it's around, again, 2 to 2,000. May ranges kasi siya. City hall and barangay, again, it varies per location as well. Okay. What taxes do you need to pay? If you are a sole proprietorship, then every year you have to pay local tax. They will base your tax based on your revenues as a based on the size of your business, may babayaran ka sa munisipyo. Okay. For BIR, the most common tax would be the percentage tax and the quarterly and annual income tax. Okay. Again, I mentioned you have to be careful when you register. Make sure na hindi kayo nilalagay sa VAT category kasi yung VAT applicable lang if your revenues are over 1.9 million a year or 78 per quarter. Okay, so if your revenues are way below 1.9, you have to make sure na you're classified as a percentage tax taxpayer, not a VAT taxpayer. That's very important when you fill out your 1901. You have to explain to the BIR that you're just starting, you're just a new freelancer, you don't have employees, etc., etc. So that you will only have to deal with percentage tax and the income tax. Okay. Lastly, talk about how to register, how to update, what taxes you need to pay. Now is how do you pay that? So if you're doing it, you can do it manually. After your registration, you can download your percentage tax forms, income tax forms. You can complete it manually and then submit it to your RDO if there's no tax due, or you go to the bank kapag may babayaran ka. So currently the setup is if kung may babayaran ka and you filed manually, you can just go to a bank, an authorized bank. Pero kung wala, you have to go to your RDO. BIR has an electronic version as well. Again, you can Google it and go to your eBIR website. You can download this software into your computer, and then you can type your tax forms electronically, send it to the BIR electronically. Pero pagdating sa bayaran, if you have something to pay, then you have to go to the bank. So print pa rin. You still have to print the forms, and then you go to the bank as an attachment. Of course, I'm from Taxumo. Medyo may shameless plug sa dulo. At least sa dulo ko nilagay. We do have. I think with the time that we have, I would encourage you guys to just visit taxumo.com. You can register. The service is free. Essentially, we allow you to do everything electronic. Currently, if you want to pay your taxes, you still have to submit it manually. Now, even though you may choose electronic BIR form, you still have to print it, these forms, and then physically go to the bank. So parang at the end of the day, parang hindi pa rin electronic, parang manual pa rin. So it's parang walang pinagkaiba dito sa manual format. So in long story short, Taxumo is an online tool. It allows you to do it paperless from end to end. I would encourage you to visit our website. The service is free at the moment, so you check it out. We're pretty confident you'll be amazed by it. And I guess let's stop here. Para may time tayo for questions. Kat?
Thanks, Mark. Thanks again for your time. And again, thank you for Taxumo. I will also be trying their services while it's still free, guys. Make sure that you sign in or sign up sa taxumo.com and let's try their service, especially that we're all new in this process. So, dahil marami tayong questions, I'll start with the first one here. He's saying it's from F. George. Regarding 1905, if I have a current employer for my full-time job, I have a freelance job and just joined Uber as operator where I was required to get DTI permit. How will I do this? Or may kailangan ko ba siyang gawin?
Is the question for the DTI site? No, but pag DTI naman, they just ask you what your own business is. They won't ask anything about your employer when it comes to DTI. So DTI is just it's just a way to register your business. No, parang registration purpose lang yung DTI. As far as taxes is concerned, tama siya. You fill up your 1905. The 1905 will ask for your current employer information or ex-employer information. At the same time, it will ask for your current personal business, kung ano yun. So the DTI is something separate. No? When it comes to the BRR, if you have an existing job or used to have, you want to change your status or information, you would use 1905. So I think that's the right way. Again, the BRR guys will will tell you how to fill it up. Every office is different. Some may ask you just to sign fill up a few lines, and that's it.
All right, thanks, Mark. The next question is, what are the common issues or concerns of freelance workers regarding taxation?
There's quite a lot of questions. I think most questions from freelancers is, why are they paying taxes? No? Especially bucket. No? We're paying. I'm working at home. My clients overseas, by the way. No, so I think the most common questions we get is, what difference does it make? Anong difference ng isang OFW at saka isang freelancer working online and with clients based overseas? No, so bakit hindi kami tax free? We have answers to that. If you Google Taxumo and space blog, we have a blog with a series of topics. One of those is in-depth discussion about questions about why freelancers are still subject to tax. What's the difference between freelancers and OFWs essentially? Kung dollar na rin ang kinikita mo and your clients are overseas, bakit when it comes to freelancers here, why is it that you still need to pay your taxes? So I would encourage you guys to check out our blog as well.
Okay, I shared yung blog link ng Taxumo sa ating chat, so you can check that out later. Mark, may follow-up question lang kanina si F. George. It's more of the tax. How will I do it for the 3 sources of income?
3 sources. I assume when you...
Uber, full-time employee plus freelance.
The 1905, I guess, so obviously the 1905 is a form to update the BAR on what other revenues you have. No, so the 1905 form, to be honest, I'm not even sure if it has enough lines for multiple businesses. I think whether you fill up one for each line of business, I would say as I said, I go back to the fact that you have to go to the BAR and let them know what your other businesses are, so that they will guide you on how to fill up the form according to how they want you to fill it up. Because each office operates differently. So you still have to pay a visit to the BAR. That's my best suggestion.
All right. Sige, next is, is Taxumo available outside Metro Manila, nationwide? Absolutely yes, right?
The answer is yes. I think we maybe not entirely nationwide. There are certain areas I would imagine we still don't cover. But I would suggest them to register, check it out. If they have questions, they can send those questions through our website, and we can update them if ever that their region or province is not yet covered. They can still at least see the system, and then we can update them as soon as possible kapag sakop na rin yung area nila.
Mark, sorry, sabi ni Ginger, Metro Manila pa lang daw.
Okay.
But we'll get there.
Stand corrected. Pero ano. Okay.
Okay, the next question is, should we also pay quarterly and annually as freelancers?
Yes, the question is yes. The answer is yes. We again check out our blog. That's a very that's a question about why freelancers need to pay taxes.
Okay, great. What if you're an independent contractor? You have an employer based in Singapore, and you receive monthly salary. What category do I fall in?
You would be considered. You will be considered a professional. No, essentially, you're an employee of this Singapore entity. I am not familiar with Singapore employment tax rules. I'm not even sure if they have employment tax, but I think they do. Whether the employer is filing employment tax in Singapore, I think that's something that he may wish to ask. No, if the employer, I assume the employer is not deducting anything from his salary. That's my assumption. No? If I'm wrong, I think that they can let you know, Kat. No? Pero your category would be a professional as far as the BIR is concerned.
Okay, great. Can I file the percentage tax at the end of 2016? I was not able to file it in the last 3 quarters.
The last 3 quarters, that means the percentage tax is a monthly tax form. So you have to file monthly. If you don't file, if there's nothing to pay, assuming you've registered as a business pero wala pang transaction, so zero tax naman, there is a penalty, unfortunately, for late filing of this zero tax form. The penalty is 1,000 for each form, so it's about 11,000 from January to November. It's 1,000 per form, by the way. It's not something you can accumulate, unfortunately. If there is amount to be paid, may penalty at interest pa ron. Pero 1,000 would be the minimum penalty.
Okay. Jump muna ako sa Facebook questions. Are our services subject to final withholding tax?
I'm not sure about what services mean, no? Pero final withholding tax mostly refer to foreigners, actually. When a foreigner works here in the Philippines for a contract, the employer would have to deduct a portion of his contract and give it to the BIR. Ang tawag doon, final withholding tax. It's called final kasi the guy is a foreigner. Pero for local citizens, kung binawasan ka ng kinaltasan ka nitong kliyente mo, they would give you what they call a 2307 form. It's a creditable tax form. The 2307 form is parang tax credit mo na yan. So when you file your personal income tax, let's say you have to pay 12,000 at yung kliyente mo binawasan ka ng 4,000, 8,000 na lang ang babayaran mo. Kasi you have a certificate from this client that says he or she had deducted 4,000 from your contract. Okay? That's what they call a creditable tax form.
What about this? Since unstable ang kita ng freelancers, minsan malaki, minsan sakto lang, how can I protect myself from declaring too much sa BIR? Kasi I think sa office-based, depende sa sahod mo. Sa freelancer ba, pwedeng percentage lang? Not, yan yung question niya.
The freelancers, yes, you have to pay your percentage tax. No, I think the question is, how about the income tax? Well, the income tax is medyo kakaiba lang yung the way the BIR calculates their income tax. Meron kasi lahat tayo, we have a 50,000 deduction in our income tax calculation. What it simply means, if you earn 50,000 for a year, wala ka nang babayaran kasi 50,000 less 50. So every taxpayer has a 50,000 deduction that you're entitled to, and then you have a 25,000 deduction for up to 4 dependents, or let's say 4 children. So if a taxpayer has four children, and that's for 100,000 plus 50,000, you have a deduction worth 150,000. So malaki naman yung deduction. So if ang question is paano kung fluctuating yung income mo, I think nako-covered naman siya ng deduction at year-end. No? So, and our taxation naman, if you don't make money, you don't have to pay any taxes naman. So, at the end of the day, it's based on the income that you receive. Ang income tax is based on your income. Yung income is your revenue less your expenses. So, if you're not making that much money, so your income probably is a small amount, so you don't have to worry. Chances are you file your tax return, income tax return, and halos wala ka rin naman babayaran. No? So that's there's a difference between yung pumapasok na pera versus yung concept na income tax.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Actually, ang dami pang questions. Last 5 minutes na lang, so let's try to wrap this up. Is RA 917 Barangay Micro Business Enterprise Law applicable to freelancers?
My answer to that would be no, kasi technically it's not meant for professionals. It's meant to generate employment. Your micro business is to generate employment. I've seen professionals who were able to secure that certificate. I will not comment on how they get it. If you read between the lines of what I just said, no. So, okay, so it's not meant for professionals, absolutely. Kasi it's meant to generate employment at the barangay level.
Okay. Since sa atin po, may overhead expenses, may mga miscellaneous pa, kasama ba ito sa mga exemptions katulad ng ibang artista na per project ang swelduhan? Saan tayo lugar na categories?
Hindi ako artista eh. So, but anyway, the BRR, may option yung BRR. If you have lots of expenses, you can claim all your expenses, pero syempre kailangan nakaresibo yan, nakapangalan sa business mo or sa iyo. Pero the BRR has an option na tinatawag nila na basically a 40% option. So if you make 100,000 for a year, you have the option to, kung ang expenses mo, let's say 70,000 yung expenses mo, pero dahil home-based ka, lahat ng mga expenses mo hindi nakapangalan sa'yo. Sometimes yung electricity nakapangalan sa parents mo. Internet is under your sibling's name. So parang wala kang expenses na nakapangalan sa'yo talaga. But the BRR has an option kung let's say 100,000 yung kinita mo for the year, you can choose to only claim 40% of that amount as your expenses. That's what they call OSD essentially. No? So if you're okay with that, 100,000 less 40,000, 60,000 na lang yung starting point ng calculation. Okay, so dun sa 40,000, the BIR will not ask further questions. Hindi na sila hihingi ng resibo dun sa 40,000. If you're willing to leave it at 40,000. No? For someone who, in my example, kung expenses mo ay 70,000, hindi ka talaga papayag na 40,000 lang yung expenses mo, then you have to do something about your 70,000. You have to change your bill to your name. You have to make sure you secure invoices under your name para ma-claim mo as expenses.
Okay, siguro one final question. For income declaration, should we need to submit a summary of income transaction?
I'm not aware. Actually, hindi. Sa income tax return, for first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, actually, mga summary lines lang yung one line lang or two lines for revenues and one or two lines for expenses lang. Pagdating sa annual income tax, hindi rin gaano binabreakdown yung revenues. You're asked to break it down by type of revenues. Let's say you're in the question earlier, I have different businesses. So baka you have to split those businesses. Pero you're not asked to split it like per invoice or per client. Hindi naman.
All right. So that's the time we have. Marami pang ibang questions. So let's continue the conversation sa ating freelancing.ph group. I'll add you guys or pwede pa kayo mag-comment doon and then Mark can continue answering.
Yes, I
And
think I can, I'll try to answer for the next 20, 30 minutes and after that siguro, I'll take a pause. But if I have time, I'll go back to that thread. No? Pero within the next 20, 30 minutes, I think I can spend the time and try to answer the rest.
great. And since you registered to this webinar, we'll send you the recording and we'll also convert a downloadable resource para mas mabalikan natin yung mga sinabi ni Mark today. Thank you so much, Mark, and the TaxSumo team.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone. See you on the next coffee break.
Bye.
Bye.